Booking a visit to Disney World can be very exciting, but it can also be equally intimidating. With so much to see and do at the happiest place on earth, it can be very overwhelming to know where to begin. But have no fear, because in this video today, I wanted to share with you 5 things that you need to know before visiting Disney World in 2022. Whether or not you're new here, welcome back to the Megan Moves channel, where I like to help Disney lovers make the most of their Disney travel. So if that's content that interests you, definitely hit that subscribe button below. And with that, let's go ahead and get into these tips. The first thing that you should know before visiting Disney World in 2022 is to do research. Let's face it, visiting Disney World is very, very expensive, and the last thing that you want to do is not make the most of your time while visiting Disney World. The best way to make the most of your time while at the most magical place on earth is to research and prepare ahead of time. There is so much to do while visiting Disney World property, and while you might have a finite amount of time, you want to make sure that you make the most of all the time that you have while at Disney. The best way that I recommend to research ahead of time before your trip is to figure out which parks you want to go to. As you may know, Disney World has 4 main theme parks. They have Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. So with that, you want to research ahead of time and see which park it is that you are wanting to go to. Once you know which parks you'll be going to, the next thing that I recommend is to research all of the rides and attractions that can be found in those parks. Make a list of the top 5 attractions for each of the parks that you're going to be visiting and prioritize which ones you are wanting to do while there. Having a list of the top 5 attractions that you are wanting to visit while at Disney World can help you to better plan out your day. The last thing that you want to do is to be leaving the park and see something that you didn't have time to get to and end your vacation feeling like you missed out on something that you may have wanted to experience. So that's why I recommend researching all that you can expect to see and do and want to do while at Disney World, so that way you can make the most of your travels while at the parks. The second thing you need to know about before visiting Disney World is to download on your mobile device the My Disney Experience app. We all have a ton of apps when it comes to our mobile devices, but one app that you're not going to want to miss out on is the My Disney Experience app whenever you are visiting Disney World. The My Disney Experience app comes in very handy when it comes to visiting Disney World because there's so much that's included in the app. In the app, you can find park maps, estimated wait times for attractions, make mobile orders, you can see show times for shows happening in the parks, and make reservations for restaurants. Another thing that I recommend when it comes to the My Disney Experience app is to download it before you go to Disney World and to familiarize yourself with it. Familiarize yourself with what the layout of the app is and where you can find certain features. This will help you to be fully prepared whenever you are at Disney World, so you don't have to worry about downloading, creating an account, and trying to figure out how to navigate the app. I really enjoy using the app to look at the current estimated wait times for attractions, so that way I know how to plan out my day. And it gives me a good feel for how crowded the parks are and how crowded certain attractions are. Another way that the app comes in handy is whenever you are at Disney World, currently they are doing a lot of mobile ordering when it comes to getting food in the parks. So in the past, when it came to getting food at these quick service stops, you would usually go up to the counter, order what you wanted, and then wait for your food. However, now Disney has switched to a lot more of the mobile ordering, where it comes in handy to have the app downloaded ahead of time, so that way you don't have to worry about setting up an account, putting all your payment info in, and wasting a lot of time when it comes to ordering food. So it's nice having an idea of how the app works and having it downloaded ahead of time, so that way you don't have to waste any of that time when you're in the parks and you can keep making the most of your time while at Disney World. I will say that the My Disney Experience app does take up a lot of battery when it comes to using it on your phone. I definitely recommend clearing out of the app if you're not using it, because it does work behind the scenes. And with that, I recommend having a portable charger with you to ensure that your device is charged throughout the day, so you can keep using the app and also use it to take pictures and communicate with people while you are on your Disney trip. The third thing you're going to want to know before visiting Disney World is to make reservations. Now, there's a couple of reservations you're going to want to consider making before getting to Disney World. At the time of this video, in order to get into one of the Disney parks, you have to have a reservation made for that day to ensure that you have entry into the park. If you are an annual pass holder, this reservation can be made easily through the My Disney Experience app, but also if you are buying single day park tickets, you can also make the reservation at the time that you are booking your tickets. I will say, if you know when you are planning on visiting the parks and if you know what parks you are going to be visiting on particular days, definitely make the reservations as soon as possible, because the reservations can get booked up and the parks can get booked. So the last thing that you would want to have happen happen is to get down to your Disney vacation and not have park reservations made, and then not be able to actually go to the parks because there's no more reservations available for those parks. At the time of this video recording, it hasn't been too hard to get park reservations, but whenever it comes to holidays and weekends, the parks can definitely book up, so you want to make sure that you have your reservations made ahead of time. Going along with that, another piece of reservations that you're going to want to make are dining reservations. Now, when it comes to eating at Disney World restaurants, there are reservations that you can make to guarantee you a spot to eat at that restaurant. Some of these reservations do have walk-up waiting lists that you can put your name on to potentially get into the restaurant, but to ensure that you're going to be able to eat at that restaurant, it's good to make a reservation ahead of time. But going along with reservations for the park, the reservations for certain Disney restaurants can definitely book up, as there is a lot of demand for some of the restaurants on property. So to avoid this, definitely make your reservations ahead of time so that way you can guarantee eating at a restaurant that you may be looking forward to. The fourth thing that you're going to want to know about before visiting Disney World is the Disney Genie. Now, if you visited Disney World in the past, you'll know or may remember their Fast Pass system. Essentially, the Fast Pass line was a way that you could skip the regular standby line and you didn't have to wait in the longer lines for certain attractions. However, unfortunately, Disney has since done away with the Fast Pass system and introduced this new Disney Genie. There are definitely mixed reviews when it comes to this system, but it's important to have an idea of how it works before you visit Disney World to know if you want to use it or not. So with this Disney Genie, it is a paid option when it comes to visiting Disney World, but it's something that you don't have to use if you don't want to. I won't necessarily cover how the Disney Genie works in this video, but definitely familiarize yourself with the Disney Genie and figure out if it's something that you want to use or not. If you don't want to use the Disney Genie, they also do have a free version of the Disney Genie that comes with the My Disney Experience app if you have it downloaded on your phone. And essentially, this is a way that you can tell the Disney Genie what you're looking to do in the day, and it will curate the perfect Disney day for you. It'll help to show you what ride times are for certain attractions that you may be wanting to visit, as well as recommend some certain attractions that you may be interested in that you may not know about. And the fifth and final thing that you'll want to know about is to wear comfortable clothing. When it comes to visiting Disney World, one of the most important things I think that you need to consider is what you are going to be wearing for the day. There are so many times that I see families and people that are at Disney World that have not come prepared when it comes to what they are wearing, and that definitely makes an impact on your day. As I mentioned, you spend a lot of money to go to Disney World, and the last thing that you want to do is to not be comfortable and not be able to make the most of your time while you're there, so plan out what you want to wear accordingly. What I recommend is to wear clothing that you know is comfortable. Definitely wear breathable clothing because it can get very, very hot, especially if you're visiting in the summertime. If you're visiting in the Florida winter months during December to about February, it can get pretty chilly. It actually can get down into the 40s, so I recommend wearing layers, being able to wear a jacket if you have one, and then being able to take it off and put it in a backpack if you don't need it. Being prepared ahead of time and knowing what the weather will be like when you are on your vacation can be very helpful to help you to avoid going into the Emporium and trying to find a jacket or a shirt that you might need to purchase, because that can get very expensive. So definitely figure out what the weather is going to be like when you are visiting and plan your outfits and your clothing accordingly. Another thing that I absolutely recommend is to wear shoes that you know are comfortable and that you have worn before. You are going to be doing so much walking when you're at Disney World, and so you're going to be on your feet, and the last thing that you want is to be wearing shoes that aren't comfortable or be getting blisters. So definitely wear shoes that you know are comfortable, that you already have broken in, because Disney property is very big and there's lots to see and do, and so you're going to want to make sure that you are comfortable to be able to experience all that you want to do while at Disney World. There's a lot that goes into visiting Disney World, but ultimately preparation is key, and it can help you to make the most of your time while at the parks. Is there anything else that you think you need to know before visiting Disney World? Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below, or is there anything that you recommend doing before getting to the Disney parks? I definitely would be interested to know what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you're interested in keeping up with more ways to make the most of your Disney travels, definitely hit that subscribe button below. Here I'll attach the playlist where I share other videos of theme park tips and tricks, as well as another video that I think would be helpful for you to watch next. So thanks again so much for watching. Enjoy your trip to Disney World, and we'll see you in the next video. See you guys!